Welcome. Look at my co-host today, Ghost Theresa. Theresa likes hanging out. She likes to float around. She likes to be part of the show. And I want to thank you guys for being here. What is today? Tuesday? It's a Tuesday. It's fantastic. Now, some of you right now are watching this and like, oh, he's wearing sunglasses. No, these are prescription glasses. These are actually prescription glasses. So it helps me read a screen better, actually, or not. My other prescription glasses got a scratch in it somehow. I think the ghosts are pissing me off, people. I think the ghosts are mad at me. They're screwing up my TV, scratching my lens. I mean, what have I done to deserve this? I love these ghosts. I love these spirits. They should love me back, right? Man, guys, thank you so much for being here. Now, remember, if any one of you ever want to co-host one of these new shows, email me. Say, hey, I want to do Thursday. I want to do Friday. I love having people on. I love having different points of views coming on. Now, in the future, I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to bring in the phones because I like to have the show done in a certain amount of time. And when you add phones, it could go on too long. So I don't know. But if you want to come on, just let me know. So first of all, thank you guys for being here. And listen, if this is your first time here, if it is, and I hope we have a lot of first times people here, what we try to do is we play videos from different segments. We got like the Cryptid segment, paranormal, UFO, and we have some Mandela effects or sometimes Matrix. Okay, so the idea is we'll look at some videos. Maybe some will be educational. Some might be like, what is that? Is that a creature? What the idea is behind the guys is for us to have an opportunity to talk about it, to look at it and evaluate and talk about it in the chat, in the comments. Now, because you got to remember, some of you might be experts in the UFO community, but you don't really know too much about the cryptids. So this might be a learning experience. And for the people who are in the cryptids or the paranormal, this is your opportunity to leave some feedback in the comments, in the chat, for the other people that might be learning this stuff for the first time. You guys would be surprised how many of this we just don't know about. Some of these UFOs, like, well, that's back in 1948. Not everybody know these stories. So this is a community of sharing information. And I'm just a guy who's maybe have a piece of history story just to bring you. And then we could go off from it. So beyond that, thank you guys for being here. Let's jump right into it. Let's look at some cryptids today. Okay. Now, this first video, guys, right now, somebody's going to bash me for saying this word bad. Listen, you guys know the story that I have had speech issues in the past. I did. I'm not going to lie. Got nothing to hide from. Got nothing to be ashamed about. So some words I have problems saying. Okay. This is the legend of Rougarou. Rougarou, I don't know. You make it up. Louisiana's werewolves and chills down your spine. Okay, this is about the Louisiana werewolf. Now, there's a lot of information about this. I talked to a lot of people. They never even heard of this. So I found a video. Now, this video is at least 5 minutes long. And I don't usually like to go 5 minutes. I like the 3-minute mark. But this video is 5 minutes. Rougarou. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Rougarou. So this video is 5 minutes long, but there's a lot of good information about this cryptid that I'm sure a lot of people who are in the paranormal UFO community might never even heard of this. Might never heard of this cryptid. So this is the Louisiana werewolf. Well, guys, let's just start it. Let's just hear it.
There has persisted a tale of terror that has all but ingrained itself into the major lores of Louisiana, a story that's been inherited by each passing generation, striking fear into the hearts of all those who receive it, pertaining to a legendary cryptid not dissimilar to traditional concepts of the infamous werewolf, and boasting roots in early French communities. Are you prepared to delve into the legend of the Rougarou?
Well, are we ready? If this is your first time learning about this cryptid, I am sitting here so excited for you guys if you never heard about this cryptid, because it's awesome to learn about new things, you know? I mean, listen, if you're in Louisiana, say you're a Bigfoot hunter. What if you saw something like this and you think it's a Bigfoot? Hey, it's not a Bigfoot. It's a Louisiana werewolf. I don't want to meet that fucking guy in the alley. I tell you that right now.
Reported descriptions and abilities vary from telling to telling. The historical origins of the Rougarou are believed to lie astride those of the loup-garou and other beasts of francophone fables. In 16th century France, the existence of the loup-garou was widely accepted as an inevitability, and a number of crimes, from robberies to kidnappings, were blamed on its presence, resulting in the countless executions of those under suspicion of harboring the curse. As French culture found its roots in America, namely in Louisiana and parts of Canada, the tale of the Rougarou was born, and in fact, in southern regions, often both monikers, loup-garou and Rougarou, were utilized interchangeably to describe the same variety of boogeyman-esque werewolf figure. The legend of the Rougarou would eventually cement itself into American culture amongst settlers throughout and from Louisiana, along with French-Canadian immigrants, and eventually Cajun stories would tell the creature could be found lurking the swamps throughout central and eastern regions of the state, namely near sugarcane fields and dense forest groves. In most variants of the Rougarou legend, the abomination itself is described as a hominid being with a human body and the mutated head of a canine that walks either on two legs or on all fours interchangeably, and that's able to freeze all but its bravest prey in place with one stare from its nearly glowing red eyes. Chillingly, Rougarou are rumored to possess superhuman strength, unimaginable speed, unparalleled hunting tactics, and a bottomless appetite driven by a taste for blood. Other Rougarou stories tell the beast can shapeshift into a range of animals, even into unassuming.
Ooh, isn't that interesting? It can also shapeshift. It's almost like a skinwalker, right? I mean, I'm not saying this is a skinwalker, but shapeshifting. And isn't it? That's, dude. You know what's scary about that is now I live in the state of Washington. I'm surrounded by rabbits. You guys know this. I'm surrounded by rabbits. I got rabbits in the backyard, rabbits in the front yard. We're overrun by rabbits. What if the rabbits are actually a Rougarou and they're spying on me? Holy shit! I better bring some carrots with me, or not carrots, some blood to feed it. My God.
Forms such as that of a rabbit, and others still that they are created by witches who either transform themselves into Rougarou and bite their victims, or whom lay a curse similar to that of lycanthropy, or more commonly, the curse of the werewolf. Some variants of the Rougarou legend have been utilized by parents to inspire a sort of fearful obedience in their children, not dissimilar to the purpose of more modernized urban legends, while one version even tells the beast hunts Catholics who break Lent, and that should a practitioner fail to complete their Lent for 7 consecutive years, they risk incursion of the curse. Some tell infliction under the curse of the Rougarou only lasts for 101 days, after which it's transferred to a new victim, sometimes by way of bite or blood. Others that the monster can only appear at night and must return to a sickly, weakened human form throughout the day. And both Metis and Cree tribes, upon their adoptions of the tale, told that a person or persons could be transformed into a loup-garou or Rougarou by simply laying eyes on one, or by hearing of someone else's close encounter. On an interesting side note, several variations of the Rougarou legend were mixed with that of the Native American Wendigo, yielding a monster that was formed much as our traditional Wendigo was, in the wake of one's willing consumption of human flesh. So, whatever is your average mortal man to do should they encounter one of these bad boys? Fortunately, warding against a Rougarou is fairly basic and consists of simply leaving 13 small objects by one's doorstep. As legend has it, Rougarou are incapable of counting past 12, and the presence of 13 interesting items is sure to keep them busy and recounting until the sun rises, at which time they should flee. Additionally, if things get out of hand, not dissimilar to the dread Wendigo, it's told that Rougarou can be killed with fire. More recently, the fearsome Rougarou has found its way to Hollywood, metaphorically speaking, and has been modernized into a sort of cult and pop cultural icon of horror. An annual Rougarou festival is held in Houma, Louisiana. New Orleans' Audubon Zoo boasts a Rougarou exhibit complete with a 2-size statue. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter universe includes wands fashioned of Rougarou hair. In 2014, Cedar Point out of Sandusky, Ohio, would announce its plans to renovate the Mantis ride into the Rougarou for the 2015 season, and Rougarou are mentioned and featured in a number of supernatural episodes, notably in Season 4, Episode 4. As always, what you choose to believe in is up to you, but on a closing note, while the Rougarou may seem nothing more than a scary bedtime story, fresh reports and documentation of encounters with this ferocious behemoth sprout up on the daily, with its presence even linked to the slaughter of livestock and to several murders. So needless to say, stay safe out there. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of the ever-terrible Rougarou. Don't forget to like, share.
Well, guys, I hope, seriously, I hope some of you learned something today about the cryptid. You know, if this is your first time hearing it, now you got a source, right? Now you got the name of this cryptid. And now the best part about this is you get to take this, look it up yourself on the side, look at different stories, listen to different people. You know, there's a lot of videos out there on this. You know, there's videos that has documentaries that are 20, 30 minutes. Now, I'm not going to show 20, 30-minute documentaries. You know, my ghost, maybe she wants to see it. Isn't she cute? Isn't she cute? But beyond that, guys, seriously, you know, take this, run with it, learn some more of it. Listen to multiple places. There's so many stories about the Rougarou. It is so interesting, the werewolves and all that. And I hope this is the link for some of you to look into it. You know, somebody, Ireland. I love Ireland. Zazak, welcome from Ireland. I love people from Ireland and Scotland. My family tree goes all the way back with the highest percentage DNAs from Ireland and Scotland. So those are my people. They're my people. I should go back to Ireland and Scotland and give all my people a hug because I love them all. So, you know, somebody left in the comment, I think it was, I might be wrong, but I think it was Suzanne Ann who left a comment that said, hey, I learned something today. I think that was you, Suzanne. If I was wrong, I think that was you. You wrote in the comment, I learned something today. And I love that. I mean, makes me feel like, wow, I actually helped somebody learn something today. That is awesome. You know, I told you guys, learning is what makes you grow. Learning. Always keep learning. Whatever it is, keep learning. Now, Danny Stanton told me to take a look at this video. So we're going to take a look at a video that was recommended to me by Danny that's on his channel. So I'm going to put this link in the chat. This is Danny's channel. And he wants us to take a look at it. It says, Bigfoot, Dogman are something worse. Strange photos. Okay? So basically, it's only 23 seconds left. We're going to look at some strange photos. So let's take a look at these photos and let's give our opinions. Let's give our opinions what it is. So Danny Thank you for sharing this with me. I appreciate it. Here we go. Oh, turn the volume up. Come on. Here we go. Sorry. Do it again. Here we go. So with that photo, you guys can see in that photo, there's something behind the bush. Looks like it's a shape of a man, but it's not moving an inch. Not an inch. So it's hard to say, let's see if can't tell you what it is. Could it be a log or something that's shape of a human? Of course it could be. I mean, we've seen stranger things, but that is a good shot. That is pretty interesting. Let's continue. Oh, hold on a second. Did that picture from this one? Hold on. Oh, look, it did move. It did move. Look at that. So that is there. And then, now, this is the first time I'm seeing this too. So I haven't seen this yet. I saved this so I can watch it with you guys. So the next picture, it is move. Okay. So it's not a piece of wood. Debunked that. Whoa. It looks like it's turning. All right, guys. What do you guys think? So what do we think in the chat? Sent it by a subscriber. Danny, it's always great when you got great subscribers that's sharing stuff with you. I mean, that's just there's nothing better than being shared. And thank you, Danny, for sharing it with me. See, by that guy sharing it with you, you're sharing with me. He's getting his pictures out there to even more people to make a judgment. And I'm not here to tell you exactly what that is because I don't know. But it's interesting. I like it. Title, Bigfoot Dogman, are something worse, strange photos. Or, listen, if that is something, it might not even be a Bigfoot or a Dogman. That could be supernatural. That could be a dark shadow. You can't take out the possibility that can be a dark shadow ghost. There's ghost stories all around about people seeing dark shadows. There's dark shadows in the forest. It doesn't have to be in the dark. It could be any time. So Bigfoot, Dogman, a human playing a joke on us, supernatural, alien, an alien looking at us. If you believe in UFOs and aliens, we can't say for sure what color they are. We can't. Or that could be a hoax. Best part about it is, guys, you get to decide. Not me, nobody else. You get to decide. I'm just checking D Live because I got, we're live also on D Live and Facebook. So I'm always making sure that we're not skipping somebody. All right, guys. All right. It's time because we need some paranormal. Theresa, are you ready for some paranormal? You're not seeing her move her head, but she's moving her head. She's saying yes. Yes, we're ready. We're ready. Oh, wrong one. All right. Before I show the first video, I want to, I see a lot of members that are here watching this live. Suzanne Ann, Terry Brown, Spooky Morales, Nona Boss, Unidentified S4. I know Chad Smith was in here earlier. He's a member of the channel, and I want to thank you guys for being members of the channel. If anybody else wants to help support the channel, become a member. One of the funnest things that I've been having with members I've been just posting some pictures. Actually, my buddy Hobbs, he's a member of the channel, and I wrote on a picture, my dog has corona. And he thought at first he didn't see the picture. And at first he's like, oh my God, his dog is sick. And then he saw the picture and he made a fun little comment. One of the cool things about having members is posting pictures, because I don't want to do that on the regular YouTube channel thing, because, you know, why is Eric posting these pictures? But when you have members, you post the pictures. It's almost like having your own little Facebook and Instagram with people. And I love the conversations that we can have. It's like you know, and Davey Dan, he was one of my newest members too. I love Daily Dan, and it kind of gives an opportunity to talk. You know, it is hard to talk to everybody, but when you have a members, you know, less people, it's easier to comment, talk back and forth. I love it. I want to thank you guys. This first one is a look inside Franklin Castle, one of Neil's most haunted sites. So there's a famous haunted place called Franklin's Castle. And if you've never heard of Franklin's Castle, then guess what? Guess what? You get to hear about Franklin's Castle for the first time. This is beautiful if you never heard about one of the haunted places called Franklin's Castle. Well, let's take a look.
And subscribe. Good night.
Oh.
Tale of terror that is all but in.
Oh, wrong one. We already saw that one. Here we go.
Inside the old Franklin Castle, the rumored site of murders and hauntings.
It has been off limits for years until our Andrew Horansky, pulling double duty tonight, got an invite to go in.
It has been called the most haunted house in Ohio. Of course, we are talking about the historic Franklin Castle with a history of ghosts and skeletons. But is any of it even true? Tonight, we take an exclusive look inside.
It's mystery. It's this allure that draws people in. It's one of Cleveland's greatest stories.
Cleveland.
A story that began in the 1880s with Hannes Tiedemann, a German immigrant, and his wife, Louise, who built an Ohio City landmark on Franklin Boulevard.
There are stories that the original owner of the house might have murdered family members. There are stories of bootlegging and Nazi spying and a mass execution.
And while none of that happened,
they even found human bones on the wall at one time in 1975.
There's the stuff you can't make up.
Isn't it weird? Seriously. You know, nobody has the right to kill anybody. We know that. Nobody has the right to kill anybody. You know, you don't have that right. But what kind of killing is bad? I don't know how I'm saying this, but my God, to kill your own family. What kind of, I mean, I'm not saying you should go out and kill anybody. But, and you're not a good man for doing that, but what kind of man are you really, or a woman, to kill your own family? That is just, wow. I mean, I get it. If you've been abused, you've been hit, you know, you have no choice. I get that part, but to do that is just, you know, you wonder what goes on through people's head to want to do that. It's just so weird. It makes sense why places are haunted with these kind of evil bastards, because to be evil enough to hurt your own family, I'm not saying you should go out and hurt anybody, but wow, just wow. It always shocks me to hear that.
How did those end up there?
Will Krejci co-authored the book Haunted Franklin Castle, even lived there, and found there's only so much you can explain away.
And sometimes it's footsteps crossing the ballroom on the top floor, or it's somebody talking from another room and you know you're the only one in the house, or it's somebody running up the stairs and waking you up. Go and say something because you hear them running down the stairs, but you hear a child giggling.
Likely the girl in white, the Tiedemann's daughter Emma, who died from diabetes.
Look at this. Scott Morin, a guy I worked with, sister drowned her 3 kids in bathtub. I know, Scott. When I was working as I was a supervisor for a cable company out in Maryland. So I was living out in Maryland, and I had one of my installers under me on my team had a brother who murdered his whole family and hanged himself in the house, and he had to take the kids in. And you know, and he was working under me. So this stuff happens close to you, and it's just, wow, damn, you know, it was just, it shocks you because you hear this stuff and then you hear what happened to somebody close to you. And I'm sure that place has got to be haunted now. I mean, think about what kind of soul you are to do that. That's got to be a scary, haunting place.
Believed to haunt the home along with the lady in black, her mother, who looks out windows.
And then this was Mrs. Tiedemann's bedroom.
The place she died in 1895, referred to as the cold room.
Because it used to be 15 degrees colder, 10 to 15 degrees colder than the rest of the house.
While a tour is...
And Mike from Long Island Bigfoot says, I worked in a psych hospital. You'd be surprised what people are capable of. You're right, Mike. You know, we do, when in the medical company, we did deliveries to some psych hospitals. And when people's minds go, they go. And there's no fix for it. Whatever kind of medicine, drugs you give the person, people are capable. What is this, Spooky? Give Eric money for new glasses and TV, or Jamie will haunt you forever. Yeah, I think the Spirit's not liking me, Spooky. I don't know why. I'm the most friendliest guy in the world. You know, I offer drinks to my ghost. I offer to hang out. Dude, I have a party with my ghost if they'll allow me to.
Isn't complete without a peek behind the passage by the front door.
And that's when you find a servant's stair.
Below it, a secret room discovered in the 60s, holding socialist propaganda and Prohibition-era booze from the castle's days as a German social club. Today, it is home to a vinyl record collection, thanks to a couple from Europe who took over in 2011, and to Andy Schumann, who works for them and agrees there is something special even when he's alone.
It can be so creatively fulfilling, and even though it can be scary at times, you're always able to channel that mysterious energy into something beautiful.
With Amish craftsmen at work, the plan is to one day reopen as a museum of curiosities featuring the obscure, and a space with a past and ghosts who may never leave. Andrew Horansky, 3 News.
All right, guys. Well, that's the Franklin Castle. Now, this next one is a very short, less than a minute. Apparently, there is a short video where a group is inside the Frank Castle, and they caught the word "fuck you." They caught that word, and I couldn't really hear that word, but I also don't have the best hearing in the world, and I admit that. I'm not ashamed of it. So I want you guys to hear this. Put your ears real close to it, and let me know if you hear the ghost telling them "fuck you." Here we go.
Okay, Bernie. Pocket
That
watch.
sounded like you just said pocket watch.
Pocket watch, I thought so too. Thank you. Okay, Bernie. Pocket
That sounded
watch.
like you just said pocket watch.
Pocket watch, I thought so too. Thank you. I thought so too, Rick. Look at this for a man.
Now I don't know if I heard the word. I listened to it. I listened to it, but I couldn't hear the words the ghost cussing at them. Did you guys hear it? One more time. See if you guys hear it.
You just said pocket watch.
Pocket watch, I thought so too. Thank you. Okay, Bernie. Pocket
That
watch.
sounded like you just said pocket watch.
Pocket watch, I thought so too. Thank you.
You know what? If there's somebody here, yes, most definitely said it. Oh, you heard it? Good. Perfect. I want your guys' opinion. Because I don't have low hearing. I lost low hearing. So sometimes when things are coming in at a low spectrum, whatever level, I can't hear it. So maybe that's what it is. You know, but what if somebody here, is there somebody here that has done millions of paranormal investigations. I'm curious about this. Paranormal. You might been on some some cases, you know. Could you technically, when you ask a question, could it somehow, the message you're hearing is from the future? What if somebody from the future is saying "fuck you"? What if it's not a ghost? I don't know. Maybe it's a wormhole, and somebody in the future. What if it's yourself, and you're pissed at yourself or something, and you see yourself in the past on a box, and you go "fuck you," just to fuck with yourself? Is that possible, Chris? Is that possible to say "fuck you" to yourself, and that's what you're hearing on the box? Could that voice box picking up something from the future? I'm just saying. I'm not joking about that part. Are we opening up a little portal hole, and some of the voices that you're hearing is from the future? Just saying. You know, remember the movie Instagram, the movie Interstellar, where the kind of a loop where the father was talking to his daughter or push the dust and telling her the formula to whatever to live in the space, whatever, you know, Interstellar. I'm just saying, I don't know. I mean, we're playing with stuff, right? We're having open boxes, we're EVP, we're speaking. What if when we ask for certain things, it's actually breaking a hole into the future to say something? I saw the weirdest bug that ever existed. Can someone tell me what in the... Somebody go over there and help Danny. Jump on his link. Let him know what kind of bugs he's saying. All right, guys. It's time for some UFOs. You know, I remember one time, I think it was on Reddit, and I was giving a theory. And anytime you're on Reddit, they all pounce on you. They all go against you. And they're like, that's a dumb theory. And like, really? Then what's considered a good theory versus a bad theory? I mean, we are talking about the supernatural, aren't we? I mean, we are talking about cryptids, aren't we? We are talking about UFOs, aren't we? It's not like there's a handbook, you know, 100% truth in it. There's people who question the Bible to be 100% truthful. So why is some theories more crazier than the other? Do we really know? Just saying. Got to keep an open mind, people. All right. Project Blue Book Disclassified. The Gorman dogfight. So if you never heard about the Gorman dogfight, here you go, people. Now remember, I keep saying this. If you're somebody who's truly in the UFO community, you probably know these stories. But just remember, there's people in here probably never heard of these stories, and this is your opportunity to help them out. You know, I am so glad that we have Anthony in the chat, because I know he knows his stories, he studies them, and he's able to help push the story forward. So remember that. Not everybody here has heard these stories. So don't, Eric, we've seen this before. Shut up. Not everybody's seen these stories. We got a good guy like Anthony that might be able to push this story even more. So here we go. The Gorman dogfight.
October 1st, 1948, You have an experienced World War II pilot named George Gorman, who's out near Fargo, North Dakota. He's flying a P-51 Mustang, and as he's coming back toward the base, he sees this light in the distance that very rapidly zooms toward him. And what ensues for the next 27 to 30 minutes is what we can only call a dogfight.
This was one of the earliest pilot cases that were well described, well observed.
What's also interesting is that the Air Force investigative project, which back then was called Project Sign, this is 1948, did send investigators out there to look into it. J. Allen Hynek is a professional astronomer with very excellent scientific credentials. He was working at Ohio State University and was contracted starting in 1948 to work with the Air Force to provide astronomical explanations for some of their flying saucer reports.
My father loved Air Force pilots because he said, how can the Air Force deny reports by people that they themselves trained?
Years later, a drawing that Gorman made of the encounter was declassified. And it shows that you've got an experienced, seasoned World War II fighter pilot who's dealing with a light phenomenon that is clearly outperforming his aircraft. You've got a lot of witnesses seeing this. One in the air, another pilot, and a number of people on the ground, including air traffic controllers. And it's a somewhat mystifying event.
The Air Force ended up explaining it as a combination of looking at planet Jupiter and a weather balloon, which in retrospect does not make any sense. And Hynek was very skeptical of that explanation.
Of course. Pluto, balloon, good one. And we're going to continue the story with Thomas Manto, death by UFO, January 7th, 1948. So we're going to continue this theme.
Death by UFO, Captain Thomas Mantell. Around midday on the 7th of January, 1948, people in Kentucky reported a massive object in the sky. This object was up to 300 feet wide, and descriptions of the object include ice cream cone and teardrop shaped. Changing in colour from red topped to metallic to an almost fluid, watery transparency. Credible witnesses include the tower operator of Godman Airfield, several other senior officers of the base intelligence officer, and the base commanding officer himself, Colonel Hicks.
Godman Field, Fort Knox, Kentucky, 9th January 1948. Approximately 1,300 hours, a call came to the headquarters from state police reporting a flying object near Elizabethtown. Another report came in from Madisonville. About 10 minutes later, a third call came in from Lexington, Kentucky. All towns are south of Goodman Field. So for one thing, you're getting multiple calls, not just one phone call. You're getting multiple calls of people seeing the same thing. And remember, guys, this is 1948. It's not like we have drones. It's not like there's 1,000 airplanes in the sky. The sky's a lot more clearer back those days than it is now. So, but it's probably a weather balloon, right? We don't need to continue this. It's probably just a goddamn weather balloon. We should just all go home. Here we go. We altered the tower to be on the lookout for flying objects. At 14:45 hours, the tower notified me that an object had been sighted about 2:15 degrees. I went to the tower and observed the object until 1550 hours, when it disappeared behind the clouds. The object observed could be plainly seen with the naked eye. Ooh, can't be seen with the naked eye. Was there naked people too? Man, you add in naked people, you're having a good day. And appeared to be about 1/4 size of a full moon, white in color. Thought 8-power binoculars. The objects seem to have a red borders at the bottom at times and red border at the top at times. It remained stationary for an hour and a half. And remember, there wasn't a lot of private making jets because this is 1948, people. When I arrived at the tower, Tech Sergeant Quentin Blackwell had contacted their P-51 airplanes over the field and suggested they have a look if they have sufficient fuel. When I arrived, they were within sight of the tower, heading on course. I heard one of the pilots report that they saw the sub straight ahead and estimate the speed of 180 miles per hour. Go back. The pilot stated the object was very large and very bright. Guy F. Hicks. So these are people in the military that are trained to not lie. Doesn't mean they're liars in real life, but when they're reporting, you're not supposed to be lying.
This object was watched as it silently drifted around the Kentucky skies for 2 hours. It was witnessed sometimes stopping, hovering and rotating. After 2 or so hours of reports, a flight of F-51 Mustang fighters were returning to the airbase. The flight commander, Captain Thomas Mantell, was asked to investigate. Of the flight of 4 F-51s initially sent to investigate, one was low on fuel and returned to base, and later one pilot became disorientated and was accompanied back to base with the third pilot, leaving only Thomas Mantell to pursue the unidentified object. At around 15,000 feet, Mantell radioed in to say the object was in sight, it was moving at about half his airspeed, and it was tremendous in size. As he continued to climb, he radioed in saying he was closing in on the object, and this was the last time anyone heard from Mantell. He had been chasing the object for over 30 minutes, and by 3:15 there was no visual or radio contact with Mantell. A search was launched, and the wreckage of his F-51 Mustang was found 130 miles from Godman Airfield. Amongst the wreckage, Mantell's watch was found. It had stopped at 3:18.
3:18.
With this first recorded death linked to a
3:18. There's like the devil's hour, the 3 o'clock part in the paranormal. 3:18, 3 o'clock. Sounds like something's going on here. Something's going on.
UFO, investigations into the phenomena suddenly grew more serious. Whether the crash was caused by pilot error, mechanical malfunction, or by the UFO remains unclear.
That's the thing. It's unclear. Or our government knows exactly why he crashed and they're not releasing it. Could be. You know, guys, sometimes you need to learn all stories of UFOs and all that, because I know there's people nowadays, right? Well, you know, we got all these drones, we got all this, you know, we got all these airplanes, all these airports. Okay, then 1948, when there ain't no drones. There might be a few kites. I guess they have a lot of weather balloons back in those days, apparently. What about all those calls they get with all those color sites? There's not experimental planes like we have nowadays that been experiment planes probably since the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This is 1948, 47, 1952. No drones, none of this. Well, the story got stretched out. You know, there's always going to be somebody that's going to be a denier. And I'm not here to tell you all this is true. That's up to you. What I'm saying is, it's harder to say, well, they probably saw this. Guys, the skies are way more open back in those days. It's way more empty like we have it nowadays. Are we saying that everybody's liars? Are we saying that everybody in the military is lying? We know our government lies, but that's their job to lie to us. That's their job. But we need to learn all stories. All of it. And that's why I'm here. I'm trying to find all these different stories to bring it to you guys. So some people never heard these, and maybe you haven't heard enough with this story. But now you got the information. You got it. You can find it yourself. Go look. Go study it. It's such interesting stuff. We need to learn about all strange things, UFOs, ghost cryptids. They're all in the same realm. They are. These stories go way back 1800s, 1700s, 1600s. There's even supposedly flying objects in the Bible. If you're a Bible believer, I know a lot of you are. Okay. Well, there's flying object cryptids in the Bible too. Well, guys, let's go check out some weird news of the day. All right, here we go. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty will know. Scotty has to know. Scotty's gonna know. I'm gonna tell Scotty. Gonna tell myself. Scotty has to know. Scotty has to know. Scotty has to. Scotty has to. Scotty has to go. Scotty doesn't. All right. I see we got another person watching from D Live. Welcome. I love everybody from D Live. I love everybody from Facebook. You're all great. Now, I love this lady. It's a short video, less than a minute. I love this lady when she speaks. I love how she's, I'm not going to say, you know what? Just watch the goddamn video, all right?
Were damaged, and the entire complex may be without electricity for some time. Red Cross is assisting displaced families. One resident describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I love that. I'm sorry, people. I love that. Bronchitis. I don't have time for that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I got to hear her again. I love that woman. I want to go to a barbecue with her. Listen to bronchitis again. I love it. Who has time for that? You know how sometimes you got a big show and you start getting sick? Sometimes like, I don't have time to be sick. And I love her expressions. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a sucker. I love this.
Give me a cold pop. And then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
According to the apartment manager, the fire.
I love it. She's awesome. She's awesome. I want to get her. I'm actually trying to research to find out a woman. I want to get her on the show. I want her to be a guest on one of these shows. I think she'd be expressive. She'd be awesome. I got to find her. I got to find that woman. You guys, you help me find her. We got to find her. We got to get her on this channel. All right. It's time for some Mandela effect.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Luke, I am your father.
Guys, Anthony's saying, "Smell my finger." It's been, it's been to the dark side. I love that. I love that. I love that, Anthony. That's great. It's been to the dark side. Well, well, man. Woo, I can't think of actually I got two Mandela effects today. Here's here's a personal one for me. You guys remember the song Prince, "Let's Go Crazy," right? Now, now there's a lyric in this song that is totally different that I remember. I'm not telling you that this is a Mandela effect for everybody. Mandela effects are all up to you. Don't ever let anybody call you dumb or not. Doesn't matter. But there's a part of the song, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life." Electric word, life. It means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else, the afterworld. Now the word electric word, that's new to me. I'll tell you what I think. When I remember, I love this song. Prince is fucking awesome. He did rock, he did R&B, he did soul. That man did everything. This is what I remember. "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life." I like the word life. It means forever, and that's a mighty long time. I remember them saying, "I like the word life." That's what I remember. I like the word life. I don't remember it being electric word life for me. For me. Maybe I was always singing it wrong. Could be. Could be. But for me, I remember it being, I like the word life. But now it's electric word. That's a strange little one. That's a strange little one. You know, I actually got an argument with somebody on Reddit. Of course, like an argument, you know, and they're like talking about Michael Jackson and Prince. And I said, Prince is the bigger talent. The guy's like, "No, Michael Jackson, the king of pop." I go, "Dude, shut the fuck up." Prince knows how to play every single instrument there is. The man has made every kind of music that there is. I'm not putting down Michael Jackson. Okay, he got some catchy songs in the 80s, some songs in the 70s. But Michael Jackson cannot play the instruments like Prince can. Prince was the better all-around talent than Michael Jackson. And people are just getting an argument because they think, no, Michael Jackson's bigger. Whatever. To me, Prince is the bigger star. Now, like I said, this is a Mandela effect for me. Now, this one is about Twilight Zone, Ron Sterling. Now, this might be more for older people because the spelling of the word Ron Sterling is different. I'm just going to play the video. Here, let me play the video. And like I said, this Twilight Zone is probably going to be a little bit for the older people because we grew up on Twilight Zone. But just listen to the video and hear this out.
Zone. Used to love the Twilight Zone, from the early black and white ones to the later colour ones. Loved every one of them. There wasn't one bad episode in my opinion. But Rod Serling, it was never Rod Serling. Screenwriter, producer and narrator from the start of the early ones was Rod Sterling.
So the Mandela effect for this one is, as of right now, if you look it up, the man who hosts the channel wrote it. His last name is Serling, Serling. But a lot of people, even including myself, has thought it was Sterling with the T. Is there a reason why? Possibly. There could be a reason why for any of this. But there is a lot of us, including myself, remembers the letter T. Here we go.
I remember that because I was at my grand's when I saw the very first one, and she said, oh, it's Rod Sterling. And then I said, oh, Sterling. And then my gran had a lot of silver, sterling silver, no connection, but she was saying sterling silver. So that's why I know it was sterling, because she related it to silver items she had in the front room. So I always knew it was sterling, but I always looked for his name coming up, always have done. And then suddenly it's Sterling. And I look at all the old interviews of him. There's quite a number of interviews. Well, it's Sterling. And they talk to him as though he's Sterling. He even says his name's Sterling. Oh, it's never Sterling. It's absolute crazy. Also, the twists on them have changed. There's lots and lots of subtle differences that, if you know them as well as me, you'll see them. The smallest details of robots changing in it, of heads of dials in it changing, the plot having a little bit more on it, a bit like the old Elephant Man does. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Not a lot more to say. I mean, do you remember it being Sterling? If so, give us a thumbs up for this one. If you always remember it as Sterling, it's absolutely crazy. It's from my history, that's just madness. But I can't even find a Sterling on the internet. But if you know it as Sterling, just give it a thumbs down.
All right, guys. Like I said, this might be more for people who grew up on it, you know, and I get it. You know, if you didn't grow up on it, I mean, you're not gonna know. I mean, you know, you probably ain't gonna have a true thought on it, but you know, and a lot of people might think it's Sterling, but I also remember it as a T, and this is his channel, Mandela Affected. He's a great as far as Mandela Effect channels, there's really only 3-4 channels I'll go to. That's about the only channels I'll go to. Most everybody else are part of a cult, or part of conspiracy theories. I mean, I'm talking about extreme conspiracy theories. Not simple ones, but extremes. So that's a strange one. That's a good one, and I appreciate him letting me use it. You know, I appreciate it. So hopefully, guys, you're all learning something from today or from this week's. I have been trying to find more story-based with some sightings stuff, but I like story-based because I want people to know these stories. And I think we're a better community when we start to explore all communities and some of the stories. I'm not talking about hearing over and over Area 51 over again or Roswell, but they are still important. Some of these stories are still important because even though we think we heard it a lot, you still be surprised that some people don't know those stories. So, you know, I will continue once in a while to bring some of that stuff back. But it is about for us to learn everything out there, because there is a lot to learn. And if I'm the channel that plays you a 40-minute video to be intrigued with that story and you research yourself, I done my job. Because listen, we're not going to get the truth from CNN. We're not going to get the truth from Fox News. We're not going to get the truth from our governments from around the world. We're going to figure out our own truth within ourselves, within our communities, with the word of mouth, information, what we're learning. That's where we're going to learn the truth in this world. And I want to appreciate you guys for being here. Tomorrow night, there's going to be no show tomorrow night. I got special passes to go see a movie called The Black Book a week and a half early before it comes out. I got a special engagement to go see it. But I am going to try to put a show together like this tomorrow during the day. Maybe 2 o'clock Pacific time. I will have something. Maybe I'll do an after show after Anthony's channel. You identify S4. I am going to do something tomorrow, but I ain't going to be able to do my Wednesday night show. Okay, because I gotta go see The Black, and I'll give you guys a review on it. So thank you guys, and guys, remember this. All of us, every one of you, we're all on a journey. Every one of us. If you're here watching this, we're all on a journey. And together, all of us, we will learn the truth. We're going to learn it all. We're going to learn it on the Paranormal Highway. I'll see you tomorrow.